Alright, welcome to part 42. And, okay, so I was gonna make the 42, yesterday, but I ended up falling asleep, so, I was gonna plan to stay up all night, but I felt so tired. Uh, you know me, guys, I just get tired pretty easily. After, like, even 20 hours, I might stay up for just a little bit until I feel like it. But,
I got you a couple treats.
thanks.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Greg's coming at 4, I guess.
Oh, 4?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right. I'm gonna go take Cuddy for a walk. Okay. Do you
Alright.
want anything?
No.
You want something to eat? No.
Later.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry, guys. I get interrupted every single day. But there's no pause button, so sorry about that. Yeah, I'm tired of being interrupted every single day. It really makes me kind of angry. But okay, let's just go anyway. Video climate change 101 with Bill and I in a new Google Doc answering the following questions. What are the most climate changes caused by? What is causing climate change today as we know it? How many degrees warmer has it gotten in the last century? What do 97% of climate scientists say in causing modern climate change? What have increased our use of? What has this released into the atmosphere? Why have humans increased the amount of greenhouse gases? What do greenhouse gases trap? Sorry. What is one of the biggest victims of climate change? How much oxygen is provided by the oceans? Answer those questions and I'll give you extra credit. I'll give you a shout out. What is an acidification? How much has ocean acidification increased? What does this acidification put at risk? How much has sea level risen in the last century? What happens to the ocean as it gets warmer? How much ice has been lost for glaciers since 1994 annually on an average? What is another sign of climate change? How does he define climate change today? What are some ways you can do on a personal level to help? What is the main takeaway for this video about climate change? I wish there was a pause button on this. Don't worry, I can edit pretty much all of it if I have time. This is from Child Development, and this is called Meeting Social Emotional Needs in the First Year. Repeat, Meeting Social and Emotional Needs in the First Year. Directions. Read pages 289 to 296 and answer the following questions and prompts as you read. They are in order. Write down 2 good questions that you came up with as you read. Write them directly below. Question 1 and question 2. Aiding baby-adult interactions. Parents can develop positive interactions with their baby by blank, the baby's blank, interacting with the newborns when blank, blank, infants when blank, serving in blank, encouraging blank. Respecting the baby's temperament. What does it mean, respect the baby's temperament? What does goodness of fit mean? Interacting with newborns. Emotional right wiring began in newborns and young infants during the times of parent-child interaction such as list-free. What should happen if a parents are experiencing depression and having other issues? Soothing a fussy newborn. What are the reasons babies cry? What is a colic? Define co-regulation. What are the 5 suggestions the book gives on how to soothe a baby? Serving and responding. In what ways do parents caregivers serve in response to infants? List 3 of each. Encouraging attachment. Define unconditional love. In your own words, how can parents encourage attachment in infants? Helping infants develop self-awareness. Define self-awareness. List the 6 ways infants develop self-awareness. Handling stress and special problems in infancy. When the baby's environment is neglectful and chaotic, the baby has to adapt either by showing blank and blank to the environment or by blank to it. In both cases, these babies have surges of negative hormones, especially blank. Why does the book say breastfeeding will have to soothe the baby more than formula feeding? What are the 5 tips books give for when problems arise? Don't forget to put your 2 questions at the top of a worksheet. All right. I hate ads so much. All right, here we go. So, okay, so plan to get more assignments as possible. So, yeah, let's just add this here. All right. Okay, so this is a video. Global warming, 101 National Geographic. So this is a pretty short answer, but how much has the temperature risen in the last century? What is the cause of this increase in temperature? What is the name of the process? What does the burning of fossil fuels release into the atmosphere? How does the greenhouse effect start? What is believed to be the reason for the increase in the greenhouse effect? According to the ice core data, carbon dioxide and methane have hit their highest levels over how long? How much has Arctic sea ice declined in the last 30 years? What will cause the concentration of greenhouse gases continue to rise? What is the prediction for temperature increase by the end of this century? What are the least 4 changes that could be the outcome of climate change? What would reduce the impact of global warming? What are the few ways that people can help? Alright, you can see those questions if you wish. Okay, why does it always say that? Can you please stop doing that, please? Thank you. Just mind your own business. I'm trying to do my life. Try to make this video here. Pretty sure Exploration questions, global warming, and climate change. In a new Google Doc, answering the following questions, do research, write short answers, copy and paste diagrams or pictures, create bullet pointed lists, or other means for understanding and answering the questions. So tomorrow, just to remind you guys, you guys know what it is, right? The military investigation test, which is coming at my school. So, yeah, it's gonna take like 2 to 3 hours, I think. Like, I usually get it done by 2 hours or 3 hours. I'm not really sure. Let's have to wait and find out. What is the greenhouse effect? Copy and paste the diagram of how the greenhouse effect operates. Why is the greenhouse effect necessary for maintaining temperature on Earth? What are the four major greenhouse gases? What is the greenhouse gas that has the most impact on global warming? Which greenhouse gas is increasing due to the burning of fossil fuels? What is the modern climate change? What is the leading cause of global warming? Copy and paste the diagram of the carbon dioxide curve for the last several thousand years. How have these levels changed in the last 2 centuries? What is an ocean acidification? How is an increase of an ocean acidification related to the global warming? What impacts do ocean acidification have on ocean life? What are the 2 reasons global ocean levels are rising? What are the hottest years on record? I don't know, will I get so many notifications on my computer? I know that I sometimes get it, but I guess that's just how it goes. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna read this right here. This was made by Anushka Jenj Patil. So, the modern love story. This was a first period, I think. It was a busy day when my dad finally told me we were supposed to drive down to Tennessee. So I decided to ask them. They had to answer me. We were supposed to be in the car for over 7 hours. I have always wondered what was so embarrassing that they had to keep it from me. Everyone else in my family loved to make fun of how they met and what had happened. Whenever someone made a comment about their lives before marriage, I kept my eyes on my parents. My dad used to scrunch up his face and tell me my sister that everyone else was lying, where my mom's face would turn tomato red. My dad just used to tell me that my mom had caught him with a fishing pole. Somehow I always doubted it, but I never said anything. My dad started talking first. I was working at the Microsoft at that time, and my boss told me that we were going to have 2 new trains, and I was supposed to teach them how everything in Microsoft worked. We were supposed to have a big meeting in which I would meet the trainees. One of them was your mom, and the other was Pallavi, our close family friend. So the first time I met her was when she came in late. Her face was flushed in embarrassment. I had never seen anyone more beautiful in my life. Me and my sister Ananya could hear the love, devotion, and sincerity in his voice. Aww, but it's so cute. Tell us more, said Ananya. We worked together as trains at Microsoft, Indiana. My cubicle was right next to Shilpa's, my mom. We used to spend time mainly talking instead of working. We became friends after that, said my dad. All right, part 2. My bad. After a few months of knowing each other, Anna and my dad followed me to the gym. He asked me if I wanted to eat something at the nearby restaurant. I said yes, and we went there on his motorcycle. I had lemonade, and while Anil had a grilled cheese. For that day and onwards, we will go there every day after work. After hearing about the story about my dad asking out my mom, I learned that people can change. My grandma used to say that my dad was always invested in his studies or his job. But when he met my mother, he finally learned to enjoy other things in life. He would have been very uptight and strict if he had never met my mother. She brought out the good things in life for him. Many people have said that you could see your father was in love because of the way he looked at her. You could see it in his eyes. After that, we started meeting on the weekends. Then my mom met and it brought me out of my thoughts. I had a desktop into my house and we started chatting regularly. He used to go to a nearby network cafe, stores in India that provide computers to work on, just to talk to me. She said, at this point, I could see the red for blush on my dad's face. I had never seen him blush for all the years I've known him. He was always going and funny, but he was never embarrassed or nervous. He's one of the people in the world that I can talk to without the fear of being judged. He was always there through thick and thin. My mom taught him what it was like to love someone wholeheartedly and open with yourself and make yourself vulnerable because you know the other things is doing the same. My mom changed my dad in a way, like in a big way, and I don't think he realizes how lucky he is to have my mom in his life. At this point, everyone in the car had forgotten about their tiredness, and my sister and I continued to pay close attention to every word coming out of my parents' mouth. Alright, part three. We did it for about a year, and your dad is proposed. I told my parents, and he told my mom. My parents said no because she was a Brahmin. Said my dad, I couldn't believe how two people that love each other couldn't get married because they were from different castes. I didn't understand how two of the most important people in my life, my grandparents, didn't accept my parents' marriage. I could still hear the pain in his voice when he talked about that time. He must have loved my mom a lot and still to be that sad about that time. I showed her my grandmother. She'll post photo and she somehow said yes. He said pulling me out of my thoughts. After that, we were engaged for 6 months. Our con workers didn't even know we were dating, and when we told them about our engagement, they were surprised to say at the least. They had our wedding since April 22nd, 02, or 2002, I should say. The wedding was in your dad's hometown, and there was more than 1,000 people. It was the traditional Indian wedding that had always dreamt of, she said. After our conversation, everyone was too busy thinking. I imagined how my parents looked and they were first started dating. My parents were reminiscing about those times. From time to time, they would look at the other. Well, they would look at each other and smile. Today, they have two beautiful kids. Both of them inherited a lot of their features. My sister got into my dad's temper and I got my mom's ability to trust. All my mom's childhood friends and family that said that that I look just like her. Whenever I show my friends, my big pictures of me with my mom and my parents too, they immediately said that we look alike. They both still work in Microsoft in the Human Resources Department and have a weekly tradition of eating out every week during lunch. Since most restaurants in Columbus are downtown, they went out there for lunch. They got spotted by cow workers. Cow workers, sorry. This is the part for. Is that it? Oh gosh, is it? The co-workers usually describe the relationship as cute or adorable. My parents have stayed together through thick and thin. They are each other's rocks and will support in each other through anything. Listening to their story has taught me how being people you love will be worth it. Having people that love and support can make your life better. Yes, it can. Obviously. I think I'm gonna read like maybe a few more. I think. I'm not really sure. I'm not. I cannot look at my how long I'm recording. I don't even know how long I'm recording. Obviously, I don't even know. All right, just in time. March 6, 2019. Just in time. You know that show named Just in Time? Yeah, Just in Time was pretty cool. 2022, 222 Walnut Street, Columbus, Indiana, for 47201. 201. Dear Mr. Time, I am a freshman at Columbus North High School and will graduate in May of 2022. I am working to achieve my academic honors diploma. I would like to apply for the assistant manager position that you advertised via into the Republic on March 5th. While in school, I am taking the following classes: PCC, Geometry Honors, English 9 Accelerated, Spanish 2, Biology, Introduction to Business. I have good leadership skills and communicate well with others. I get tasks done fast and correct the first time. At Columbus North, I play baseball and basketball. I have good grades in all my classes. As your assistant manager, I will follow all my instructions to get the job done well. My resume is enclosed with this letter with details on my qualifications. I would love to meet you for an interview. You can reach me by my phone number at, but only for my fan only. Only guy, but only but only if you guys are friends with them. You can actually see it. Anytime after 4 p.m. Monday to Friday, or anytime Saturday or Sunday. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Will Baker. 3752 West Suburban Court, Columbus, Indiana 47201, 201, and closure receipt. Right. Alright, this is one of the Will Baker's. Will Baker, PCC Period 1, Career Research Paper, Physical Therapist, Overview. For a career research paper, I will be researching a physical therapist. I will be searching of what they do, how much a PT will make, what kind of education you need. A physical therapist helps patients with rehabilitation, rehabilitation, and relieve pain and increase muscle strength. It helps you correct things so you won't get hurt a while completing or ever doing other physical activities. To be a physical therapist, you have to have certain skills. You have to be able to talk and communicate with people, whether they be over a phone or in person. You have to be able to read and write. You must have critical thinking to know what you can do to help the person in need. Another skill is social perceptiveness. You have to watch what the patient will do to a certain action. They have to be aware of that and try to help them fix that problem. Some of the most important abilities are most oral comprehension. You have to be able to listen to it and understand information and comprehend what the people are telling you. That also goes along with written comprehension. You have to be able to read and write notes for yourself and for the patient so they may follow a procedure that you may have made for them. Another skill is problem sensitivity, or not some, or another skill is sensitivity, which is the ability to tell when something is wrong. Sorry. When something is wrong or likely it's going wrong, it does not involve solving the problem, only recognizing where is a problem. The most important knowledge areas are medicine and dentistry, psycho- psychology, and therapy and counseling. Medicine and dentistry have a 93% in relative importance. You have to know information to help heal and diagnose what might be wrong with the patient. Psychology has an 83% importance because you have to know human behavior and how the human body reacts to different things. Therapy and counseling has an 82% importance. You have to know about the procedures and diagnosis and treatment for certain problems. Tasks and activities. Perform and document an initial exam. Evaluate effects of treatment and various stages of adjustments, treatments to achieve maximum benefit, and instruct patient and family treatment procedures. View the patient's medical records to help determine diagnosis and therapy treatment required. Record treatment, response, and progress in patients' chats or enter information into the computer. The most common work activities are the following: get information, monitor processes, material and surroundings, identify objects, actions and events expecting equipment, structures or material, estimating quantifiable, characteristics of products, events or information, judging the qualities of things, services or people, wages. The national average is 88 and 80. The highest average for a state was Nevada with an average of 102,860. 102,860. Lowest average for a state was South Dakota, and Maine was with an average of 75,850. My state's average, Indiana, is 82,190. 82,190, I should say. Conclusion. I choose to write my paper about the physical therapist because they make good money and it sounds like an interesting job because you can work with athletes. Some of the steps I will take to achieve at school I will take biology classes for the rest of my school career. I will work on communicating with people and more. Work on my comprehension. I will study medicine in the human body so I will be able to diagnose people and be able to help them. All right, I think I'll do one more story then. Yeah, I'm gonna do one more story or one more assignment. Who knows? The Great Depression Textbook, 7.2. All right, this was made by U.S. History class. All right, so let's read it here. Chapter 7 in Section 2: Life during the Great Depression. What did President Hoover believe would pull the United States out of the Depression? What were two fundamental problems with the U.S. economy? 1 to 2. 2 facts. What did Hoover support and use his persuasive abilities to promote? Herbert Hoover responds to the Great Depression, page 1. How did Hoover get Americans back to work? What types of jobs did he create? Alright, let me know in the comments, and I'll give you a shout out. A more hands-on approach, page 2. What was the Federal Home Loan Bank Board? What did NCC stand for, and what did it do? What did RFC stand for, and what did it do? A more hands-on approach, page 2. Alright, so by 1933, what percentage of the workforce was unemployed? What was a bank failure? What happened to the person's money if the bank failed? What was a hobo? What were hoverfields? American Society changes part 4, page 4, sorry. Sorry, I'm so tired. What became a symbol of the hard times during the Great Depression? What did the Great Plains experience during the 1920s? Think rain. What destroyed farms, crops, livestock, and equipment, and made people ill on the Great Plains? What did farmers do when they could no longer farm? How did the Dust Bowl make conditions worse for American farmers? By the Dust Bowl, page 5. Let me know if you got one. What caused more racial violence in the South early on during the Great Depression? Where did African Americans go when they couldn't make money for farming and why? What types of jobs did African Americans get into the North? How did the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, affect Mexican Americans? Why did Americans push for stricter limits on immigration during this time? Hard Times for Mexican and African Americans, page 6. That kind of sounds interesting to me. Alright, so if you guys have any questions about this page, let me know. Answer you guys right away. Alright, so like I said, if you have any concerns about the other assignments that I should look at again, then just let me know. I think you guys got it. Or you guys can just comment down on that video. Okay? Alright, so you guys on to part 43.